tissue system. Now we will see epidermal tissue system. Okay. See here now. I told you what is meant by epidermis. What I told you what is meant by epidermis. Epidermis is the outermost covering of the whole body. It is the protective covering, right? It is the protective covering. Yes or no? It is the protective covering. What is epidermis? It is the outermost protective covering of the plant is known as epidermis. Okay, I taught you this. Okay, now see here. In starting, when we were starting lecture, I told you that in your house there might be small saplings. Okay, there might be small saplings. On the saplings, they are like this fine hairs. There are fine hairs like this on that saplings. On those saplings, they are like this fine hairs. Okay, this is also a part of epidermis. This is also a part of epidermis. Okay, now see here. The epidermal tissue system forms the outermost covering of the whole plant body. Yes, full outermost covering of the body. It is called as epidermis. Remember this. It is made up of elongated, compactly arranged cells which form a continuous layer. Yes, it is a continuous sheet for full body, no? Full plant, so it is a continuous sheet. Epidermal cells are parenchymatous. Parenchymatous, we know that parenchyma. With a small amount of cytoplasm lining the cell wall and the large vacuoles. They have large vacuoles. What is I told you large vacuoles means what? 50 to 90% of cell is vacuole only. Who has large vacuoles? Epidermis has large vacuoles. Remember this. Epidermis has large vacuoles. Okay. The cell of epidermis bear a number of hairs. I told you in your house there might be a sapling you can see at home. There are many fine hairs on the outermost part of the sapling. There are many fine hairs on the outermost part of the sapling. So these hairs are called as trichomes. What it is called as? Trichomes. Okay, here it is written. Okay, see here. The cell of epidermis bear a number of hairs. On the stem. These are number of hairs you can see here. Hairs is called as trichomes. It is called as trichomes. Remember this question can come. The plant the outermost layer of plant bearing number of hairs is known as, and they will give various options. So you should know that it is known as trichomes. The trichomes in the shoot system are usually multicellular. Yes, they are multicellular. They may be branched or unbranched and soft and stiff. So they might be different now. Some are stiff, some are soft. The trichomes help in preventing water loss due to transpiration. What is meant by transpiration? See, there are two types of excretion in plants. Okay, one is transpiration and one is guttation. One is guttation. Okay, so in transpiration what happens? Water evaporates. Water comes out in vapor form. But in guttation, water droplets in form of water droplets. Means like this water can be seen, but in this it goes up in vapor form. It goes up in a vapor form and plants leave water. But because of trichomes, what happens? Plants do not lose water. Okay, plants do not lose water. Plants do not lose water. Okay, now see here. The outside. Wait, just. See here, the outside of the epidermis is often covered with a waxy thick layer called as cuticle. Now let me tell you, for example, this is a plant. Here outermost layer is there, which we know that it is epidermis. If it has many fine hairs, then we call it as trichomes. And there is one waxy layer, it is called as cuticle. But this waxy layer is not present on roots. It is not present on roots. Why it is not present on roots? If it is waxy, it will not allow to absorb water, right? It will not allow to absorb water if it is waxy. But if it is not means if waxy is not present, wax layer is not present, it will help in absorption of water. So if it is present on roots, it will not help in absorption of water. So cuticle is not present on roots of the plants. Why? Because of absorption. Okay, see here. The outside of the epidermis is often covered with a waxy thick layer called as cuticle. It is called as cuticle. It prevents the loss of water. Yes, it prevents the loss of water. There is a waxy layer, so it prevents the loss of water. Cuticle is absent in root. Why it is absent in root? Because main function of root is absorption. Absorption. If it is present in roots, then how plant will intake its food and everything, right? How it will perform photosynthesis if food is if roots cannot take water inside. Okay, so it does not have cuticle. Cuticle is a waxy layer. Okay. You understood what is meant by cuticle. Now we will go to stomata. What is stomata? See here. So stomata is very easy. See here. It is also given stomatal opening and closing. Stomata structure present in epidermis of leaves. Stomata is a structure present in epidermis of leaves. Epidermis means outermost covering of leaves. Their stomata is present. What does stomata do? Regulate the process of transpiration and gases exchange. Means, for example, now plants. What does plants intake? What does plants intake? What does plants do? Plants intake carbon dioxide and give out. Plants intake carbon dioxide and give out oxygen. Right? Plants intake carbon dioxide and give out oxygen. So what happens when they intake carbon dioxide and give out when they intake carbon dioxide and give out oxygen? That time, sometimes what happens if they do not want something? Okay, for example, if they do not want water inside, so what they can do? They can close it. They can close their cell. It is called as guard cells. Okay, it is called as guard cells. Okay, we will see this also. See, stomata regulates process of transpiration and gaseous exchange. How it regulates? How it regulates? See, these cells are known as guard cells. These cells are known as guard cells. So this can open and this can be closed also. Open and close. See here, open stomata. It opens like this and it closes like this. Okay. If it wants something, it will open. If it doesn't want something, it will get closed. Okay. A stomata is composed of two bean-shaped cells known as guard cells. See here, guard cells. These are known as guard cells. Sometimes a few epidermal in the vicinity of the guard cells become specialized in their shape and size, and also known as subsidiary cells. And it is also known as guard cells. They are known as guard cells. They function opening and closing. If it wants something, it will open. If it has sufficient, then it will close. Okay. Hair shape and size are also known as subsidiary cells. Also known as subsidiary cells. Okay. Now see here. See here. In grasses, the guard cells are dumbbell shape. What is their shape? Their shape is dumbbell shape. The guard cells possesses chloroplast and regulate the closing and opening of stomata. Yes, this guard cells possesses chloroplast. It possesses chloroplast. Okay, and what it does photosynthesis and opening and closing of stomata. This is called as stomata. So opening and closing of stomata is done by guard cells, and it contains chloroplast. And because of chloroplast, what is main function of chloroplast? Of doing photosynthesis. So photosynthesis is done. See here. See here now. Sometimes a few epidermal cells in the vicinity of the guard cells become specialized in their shape and size and are known as subsidiary cells. When they get specialized in their functions, then it is known as subsidiary cells. Okay, then it is known as subsidiary cells. Okay, now there are some PYQs. First, tell me whether you have understood everything what I taught about plant cell. If yes, if yes, then give thumbs up, and if no, then please tell me what you have not understood so I can explain it again. Okay, wait, let me check your comments.